radars for them. Their troubleshooting method was pull on the wires, see which one fell out. I did not.
Okay, it's 10 o'clock and the Department of Veterans Affairs Executive Committee be called to order. We have John Saxton, Ted Crockett, and Todd Gulman, and Mike Shadbolt. We also have, this is odd, Director Rupel, Chris Eschador, and Kim Murphy. The county administrator, item number 2, approval of the agenda for the July 10th, 2026 board meeting. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda for the meeting.
Crockett motions to approve.
Seconds.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Approval of the minutes for May 7th, June 3rd, and June 12th, 2026.
Sexton moves to collectively approve all minutes.
Crockett second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion carried. Reports, Veteran Service Director's report on office activities. Take it over, Director Rupel.
Well, thank you all. Appreciate it. Since it's, I guess today's the more official day since Tammy's last day was yesterday. So, all right. So yeah, to get into it, some report of activities over the last month, or last couple months are, we completed about 40 compensation claims. We did 1 pension claim and 9 DIC claims. So we're moving along. Even we had a lot of different things and different meetings going on, but we're continuing to serve veterans in our community through getting them compensated or getting finances in for them as we go. You can see up there a lot of different things. We did about 5 healthcare enrollments, some CHAMP VA, so the dependents insurance for the healthcare. We help some vets apply for that, which is a little bit more challenging nowadays because the VA is really pushing them to do that online. It's a lot faster, but we still do paper applications. It just takes a little bit longer for that process to go through. We submitted roughly 60, I don't know, about 70 statement support of claims. One thing that was really big the last couple months, which is very sad that we have to do this many already, is roughly about almost 20 supplemental claims. So those are appeal claims. So these are veterans that disagree with their decisions that the VA made, or they're reopening old decisions that were denied. So luckily enough, we're able to, the VA gives them that process. But it's part of it. Wish we'd had less of those and we're getting more approvals on things that they're supposed to be approved. We had one higher level review and one that went, or two went to the Board of Appeals that are going to the Board of Appeals. So those are ones that have been denied probably multiple times, and the veteran really believes that that condition should be service connected, so it has to go to in front of a board. And so we're hoping for some good outcomes from them and through that process. But even some of the higher level reviews that we just, besides those that it's not on here, we've done a few proposal to reduces that we've been really messing with that are very discouraging. Like we've had one that could change the veteran's life to them, to the VA proposing to reduce because we did an appeal on the basis that they to change the effective date. Well, that reviewer went back through and reread their stuff, and then they proposed to reduce because they didn't agree with the findings. And what was changing the veteran's life to be able to get them to be a homeowner himself, not living with his parents anymore, now is could end up taking that all away if we don't win this that proposal to reduce to get him keep his benefits, and that's going to be a very hardship situation if not. So, let's see. So we did about. Let me see.
And for clarification, when that happens,
Yeah.
are you all in the room, or is that like the American Legion or whoever does those appeals?
Yep, so with our process, we let the service organization, so be American Legion, DAV, we let them handle those parts to it. We help them prepare the documentation for those. But we let the American Legion because they have assigned people that are experts in appeals. And so we let them go through that process with them. But if the veteran, we give them the opportunity, like sometimes the veterans have like technology situations where they can come up to the office and go through that process with that. So, but we work hand in hand with them. So, yep. Like I said, like last month, we did about 82 personal interviews. So we're always continuously having veterans that are dependents coming into the office, asking for help of all sorts of situations. So that's kind of a report of activities on that part. But we did have, I'm looking at, for the month of July, we had one burial, and we had one burial in the month of July of this month. So a total of 7 this year of burial and headstone applications that we've had to do. Some of our meeting and occurrences that we've had. Like I said, I'm continuing to go into the Veterans Coalition meetings. We're working on discussing events for that are based on the Ruck Marches coming up. That's a big event that we have every year to promote the awareness of suicide prevention and things like that. So that'll be coming up. Chris, do you have anything on the Older Adults Coalition or anything like that? We attend the Lenawee by Name meeting, which Crockett right there, he's kind of leading up. We do have a few veterans in the community that are going through homelessness, and I think between the resources, we're able to try to help most of them and get through that process. Do you have anything you want to add, Ted, to that? Yeah.
Continue to just do what we've always done, and numbers seem to be steady, no dips or increases.
I've also attended the Veterans Treatment Court. I think they're about, now I think they're at 3 to 4 veterans they have in the court right now. They just had one graduate recently, so they are helping veterans and helping veterans get through that process. And like any other system, it's some struggle a little bit more than others with it, but they do have good support systems to get them kind of back on track, and the system has stuff there if they don't, but they don't give up on them. So that's the key. They try to help them as best as they can stay on track. One of the biggest events we did have recently was I think it was a really good one, is the Operation Connective Care event. That was like, I think, a first of its kind, which now is, we're finding out the VA is going to kind of continue that on to other counties, which is great, and is an opportunity to give veterans to come out to learn how to log in to their My Healthy Vet apps and set up their ID.me and also to get enrolled in VA healthcare, and also to see the service officers or other agencies that are there. So that was it was a good turnout since we helped a few vets out with that situation. So I was really happy that that took off, and that the VA is going to continue that on in different counties too, because I think it's a great opportunity. We have a lot of veterans who that struggle with the technology side of the VA, and they'd be providing them an opportunity for that. That's great.
They don't make it user friendly.
Yeah, it can be very challenging, especially ID.me. That's a very challenging because it's very finicky system. If you're trying to take a picture of your ID, you don't have the right background, it just messes up. And the other thing, which is more recent that I'm finding out more about, is that if you say you're 100% and you have a family members that are under Chapter 35, your family member, like your children, if they're going to college or something like that, or they need to actually set up their own ID.me account and log into the VA so they can manage their own stuff now. That's one thing we're coming to find out more about, that there's some challenges with that, because a lot of family members, they would set it up and it would be under, and then they're trying to help their children set that up, but they're putting their email in. Well, their email is already tied to their accounts, and they won't accept that. So they have to, now those children are becoming more adult, like they have to have their own accounts and things like that. So they need to set up their own stuff. And then part of the other meetings that we had over the last month or so was the special meetings of the interviewing process, which, like I said, we know what the outcome of that was, the hiring me for this position, which I appreciate, and thank you all for that. And the other thing we just finished up this last week is we turned in the Q3 grant report. So Tammy and I finished that up and we got that sent in. So we're just waiting to make sure that it gets approved and we don't have to fix anything on that. And then we just going through that process. That was learning more from that on my end. And so I know how to do Q4. Luckily enough though, I know if I have any questions, I can call on Tammy. She already said that. So that if it comes to Q4, because it's gonna be a bigger quarter that we have to file for. Yep, and then on the 8th, on the 8th, we had Tammy's retirement party and we celebrated that, and I think she really enjoyed that. And I know then yesterday was her taking official last day. She still have a few things she has to come pick up. But we were Chris and I were there to support her through that process yesterday, because I know it was a struggle, for her, but I know she's happy to kind of move on to her next journey. So that is all my reports for that.
You feel the transition went pretty smoothly though?
Yeah, this is going pretty smoothly. I think there's a lot that was something Tammy was really good about, is sharing information with us and keeping us up to date on what things are going on and stuff like that. Like anything, there's always learning curves, things that she might have gone over that you were paying attention, but you didn't really understand the full process. And now until I dive into it, then you'll start learning that. And luckily enough, we have good teams here that are willing you can call on people and they're willing to help you through that process. So that's great. And like I said, like next week I have the 2027 budget meeting. So that's one of the first meetings on the docket for that. So, you're getting thrown into it. So, which is great.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's the board.
Is she going to be available as an advisor to you?
Yeah, if I need to, I know she will be there. If like I said, she's always been a great mentor. So I know she would be there if I have a question or something like that, or I need to figure out where something is and I can't find it in the catalog of things she has. So.
Beautiful, thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 5, existing business, VRF proposed policy updates, approval. We went through, I believe that we went through the stuff. It has to be presented 1 month and approved this month. It's just updating the parameters that the office uses to when they do the intake and stuff like that on the Veterans Relief Fund applications, you know, times change, we gotta up the monetary, values and stuff like that, so. So we've had the first reading of that. And, I would entertain a motion to approve the VRF proposed policy updates.
Crockett motions to approve the VRF policy updates.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same. Motion carries. Item number 6. Deputy Veteran Service Director's recruitment. First item is review of the hiring timeline and process. It is my feeling as a chairman is that we need 2 board members plus the new director to take the lead on this. That way we don't have to have, special meetings and stuff like that. We can do a lot of this, right, we can do that hiring process right in the office down on South Winter Street. We don't have to have, well, God, I don't know, I don't know if I ought to say it this way, but I'd like to make that process as simple as possible. How do you guys feel about this?
Refresh me on the email that you sent out. How long is the job open till, or the posting?
Yep, so the posting's until the 14th, so next Tuesday it closes. Yeah, so we're kind of, Mike's kind of proposing is that it'd be 2 committee members and myself would go through we would set up a time where we meet and we go through the applicants, choose which ones we want to interview. We set up those interviews, and then we would then do a special meeting because we meet every other month, so we'll have to do a special meeting for us to present that recommendation to the board of who we want to hire, and then you as the board members would then vote on that hiring.
How many applications do you have so far?
Right now, I think we're around, I think it's 10 or 11, I believe, last time, so I checked. So we have quite a bit of applications and some really good candidates so far that I can see. But yeah, so I think that'd be the process. What we would do is, I would, on the 14th, or like we can talk about a time we can meet. I would like to we're going to do it. We'd like to meet within that first week. So like either the 16th, 15th, 16th or 17th, we can kind of meet and go over the applicants we want to interview. So then I can set those interviews up within that week or so afterwards. Because part of the goal would be is that we can get that person in as soon as possible. So then if we have the opportunity, if it works for them too, is to see if we can get them to go. American Legion has a VSO conference. And that would be nice at the end of August. It'd be nice if they're able to go to that because that was one of my first ones and I learned a lot from that. But that would become my goal, but it's not a mandatory thing. But it's something that I would like to try to achieve if we can. So like, yeah, so that would be kind of the thing is to try to get right on it right away once it ends on the 14th. And if we can come together and meet, review the applications, and then set up a time we want to look at interviewing for them.
If approved, I would like to be part of the review process, but I will not be available the last week in July at all.
Well, that timeline sounds good. I think that is a good plan. I can tell you I'm in Baltimore all next week, so if you wanted to do the 14th that week, I will be out, but I am available in Lenawee on the 21st or the 23rd of July, if that worked for review, if it wasn't too late, and then I can do interviews after that. And I also will be at that VSO training in August, so.
And then, like I said, that's just the goal. If not, it's not a huge thing. 'Cause we also don't want to put that stress on that person that feel like they have to go to something like that. If they have to move or transition, they want that time, but they got to figure out with their employee, their current employer if they have it. So, but if we're able to, we're able to. If not, it's okay. And like, so we were gonna, if things work out the way we can, we would look at maybe looking either I know you said the last week of July, so July 31st probably wouldn't work, but maybe like August 7th, doing a special meeting to actually do the
Well, if we did it that
recommendation.
week following the 14th,
Mm. No, I was saying for, we would come together for a special meeting for the board to vote on
oh,
the hiring of that person. We were looking at all the interviews worked out the way in a timely manner. This is something we don't have, you guys don't have to vote on or anything right now. It's just tentatively to think about is looking at like an August 7th special meeting for that hiring, you guys voting on hiring that person. But mainly it's just, the goal is just to make sure we find the right candidate at the end of the day. So whatever long it takes to do that, that's the most important thing, so.
I can do the 7th, except I couldn't do it this time, 10 a.m. It'd have to be a little later in the day.
Yeah, we'd have to look at the calendar, more at the county's scheduling too on that. So which Mike he can, like I said, he can recommend that special meeting once it comes down to, but we feel comfortable with the candidate that we choose or whatever as a recommendation, so.
August 7th would work for me. And review it the week following, the 14th of July.
Yeah, we can look at that and we can look at the options on that and how we want to do that. We can go through that process there. We can talk more about that through email, whoever the chair chooses, who he wants to be on that committee in that sense, so.
It's my feeling that John and Ted are gonna be on the review process for the applications, and you're also gonna be on the interview process along with Mr. Rupel, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. So then
Yeah.
that's,
I
so,
just can't review unless it's virtual, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
in Baltimore. I can't review in person the week of the 13th.
Yeah.
I could review them
Okay.
the 20th.
So I'll reach out to you, I'll send you all an email out and we can kind of figure through that email, when the good time to meet and go through that process. So like I said, we know it ends on the 14th, and then like I said, I'll contact you after that and we can figure out how we can do that, so.
Sounds like the week of the 20th is usually agreeable.
Yeah.
week of the 20th for interviews?
It would work,
Okay, okay.
preferably not a Tuesday or Thursday.
Those are the 2 days that I need.
We can work that out, and because like I said, we can
I'll
figure out the
work
times we
around that.
need. If it's, we need to separate them too. If we're able to do, like, if you guys are able to do a little bit each day too, we can look at that too. But we can talk more about that we can start an email chain so we can figure that out.
Item number 7, Commissioner comments. Well, Commissioner Collins is not here, so we'll move on to item 8, is the Michigan Veterans Trust Fund updates from myself. We had 7 cases from the last time we met, and 2 were from Lenawee County. 1 was for a mortgage and 1 was for a HVA system for his home. And they've changed they've changed the online system that we use. I can still see the cases and stuff the way that we used to. But I used to be able, at the end, after I made my determination and stuff on the cases, it went to a survey page and I could tell how the other members and stuff voted. And so I could tell you whether it was approved or not. Well, they've changed that. They don't have that last page anymore. So I don't know how the other members voted, and hey, I'm good with that. But I still can't bring back information about whether the two from Lenawee were approved or not. I know that one of them went to the Board of Trustees because it was beyond our limit. That was for the HVA system, but, and that's really all I got on that.
I saw that up, the thing was on the screen a second ago and the amounts were a little different than what was requested and approved. Do you know why they might be?
Low bid, high bid kind of thing.
Okay.
There was, the one for the HVA system.
It might not even be those
It
ones.
was, I did not do the one for the
Oh,
HVAC
okay,
system.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we don't do all, we won't, sometimes people go online and do, they work with the state on those, on their own financial assistance themselves, so.
Okay, moving on to item number 9, Veterans Relief. Review of Veterans Relief Fund.
So I did one Lenawee County Veteran Relief Fund application. Must be a typo between the 815 and 817, but we had one veteran who was approved, and I assisted with 2 Veterans Trust Fund applications. And the board to address Ted's question, the veteran was requesting some financial assistance and did not end up providing what was necessary, did not provide an actual invoice. I just had a screenshot of what was due and did not provide a W-9. So without that information, the trust fund can't go any further with after their request. It's denied.
Okay. We'll go on to item 10, public comment. Is there any, there's no public.
I would just maybe add that Lenawee Veteran Day at the fair is coming up on the 29th of July, so any vets can get into the fair for free, and there is a this veteran presentation, and you can get free hot dogs and burgers and all that.
Yep.
Encourage any veterans to be.
County Veteran of the Month or County Veteran of the Year and stuff will be presented at that time and stuff like that. It's actually a very good program if you haven't had a chance to attend.
Like, so we will have a table set up there too, like we usually do every year. So we'll be able to, veterans can then ask questions to us, and we can kind of guide them through that process if they have any questions while we're there. Last few years, the VA has also been there and they've had 10 stuff with eligibility. So I've not heard if they're going to be there again this year, but they may be. And so if veterans are still looking for healthcare, I would definitely stop by just in case they are. You can sign up for healthcare directly with them. So.
You guys set up in the merchant building?
No, we're usually set, but we're set outside of the band shell. There's usually, because we only go for that day for those few hours that they're going through that process, so.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Yep.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?